Welcome to episode 13 of my Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition Let's Play, and in this episode we are now going to do the American Royalty Car Club races here in San Diego. As after this, the only other set of club races we have left will be the Chopper of America races, which I will be doing in the next segment. And something else I should note is this voice audio you are hearing right now is not the in-video audio. It's actually me recording myself in my room right now after the episode has already been recorded because, well, for part of it, I forgot to make sure that my microphone was plugged in until about midway through the episode when I actually found out that my microphone could actually be plugged in. And I think it was after I took a break from the trials and errors of Race 3 that I eventually managed to find out my microphone was not on the right settings, but then I basically corrected those and, well, eventually you will hear my voice in the in-game audio as I always do it. I don't normally do these after video voice recordings in editing unless I absolutely have to, and in this case I had to, but ultimately, because I will be using the Chevrolet Bel Air for the first 5 races of the American Royalty Car Club, we basically need all the upgrades we can for this thing, which, as you probably noticed, I just purchased, and I did that by selling my Lexus IS300. And it is now officially time in probably another 15 seconds or so to cue the music, because we will be customizing this thing. Basically giving it the whole pimp my ride approach if you're wanting 2000s logic. So, basically, we have this Chevrolet Bel Air, we got some upgrades, I then bought some more upgrades after selling one of my cars, and now it's time to cue the music. Okay, now that we've got the customization part of our muscle car club races sorted out, we are now going to leave the garage and go look for our club races.
Alright, player, let me see what you got now.
So all we need to do now is look for our club races for the muscle cars. And there are 5 in total to do here in San Diego, of 15. And let's do it to it. Muscle cars only. During these club races, specific muscle car parts will become available. Unlocks special move Roar for muscle cars. So my way of thinking about this was, if I do the race that offers less money first, it might be easier for me to get through the ordered races with the bigger prices of them being in over 4 figures. And the second time around, from doing the first race with me actually having every performance part I very clearly needed to get through this, it made for much easier hunting than what I had before. Because instead of feeling like the hunter the first time I tried this, I was pretty much prey. But the second time around, I actually managed to get through this race without as many issues. Not to say it was easy, but I will at least say that compared to my competition, I was eventually able to gain enough of an advantage to somehow weasel my way to first. And overall, I'm not gonna lie, these Z28 Camaros I was up against, basically the 81 Camaros, they really gave me a run for my money when it came to just the way they steered compared to me, because they were just handling so much better than I was the first time around that I did feel outmatched. But eventually, as I was able to get more money from selling the Lexus that I won before, eventually it did make for enough perseverance for me to get all the way to the finish and to eventually come out on top, proving that old school was able to beat newer school, because it's basically a late 50s car against an early 80s car. So I imagine there's probably going to be power steering involved, but I did manage to beat both Xavier and Liam to the line in race 1 after I was able to get enough experience with the route we were on. So these are your race results for the finest city, as I beat Xavier to the line by over a second, with Liam 3rd, Weston 4th, Lucius 5th, and Matt finished in 6th and last for race 1.
Holmes, I got some killer new stock in. Come by and take a look.
So as a result of us beating race 1 in the American Royalty Car Club, we've now unlocked some new exhaust tips, and I think it's now time for us to get on with race 2, because all in all, this route did also give me a bit of trouble, except for saying this time I was going up against the older 69 Z28 Camaros, as opposed to the newer 81 Camaros I was up against before. But I will say this route did give me a bit of adversity along the way, but eventually, like with the other one, we were able to persevere. I will say there was definitely more of a power output from the older 69 Camaros as opposed to the 81 Camaros. And whilst I will say that these first two races were basically all Chevys, eventually we would come face to face with some Pontiac GTOs, and I think there would also be one or two Dodge Chargers that we would also see in the fray as well. Pretty much the sorts of classic American muscle cars you would no doubt come to expect if you are pretty much part of the muscle car historians and cynics. But nonetheless, we did manage to beat race 2. Basically what you need to know about the ballistic route is that pretty much towards the end of the run, or basically at the end of the run, you're going to have two long straightaways to pretty much finish off the route, and you have to make sure that you minimize your mistakes here as much as possible. And if you can do that, then you should be able to win by a sizable enough advantage over your competition, as in this race I was able to beat Kato to the line by less than 1.5 seconds. Then it was Boo in 3rd, followed by Weston 4th, with Walker 5th, Mark finishing 6th, and then it was Paul who finished in 7th, and last, here in race 2.
Not bad, is it?
Despite us not winning anything from beating race 2, I can certainly say that with the trials and tribulations I would have to face in Cliff Drift, which was the name of race 3, I can certainly say that the first two races were pretty much the calm before the storm. And boy, let me tell you, was this definitely one fuck of a storm I had to weather for race 3, to say the least. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna do that intentionally because I've just accepted now that if this race is evil, then I might as well be evil back. Because that's the only way I can really respond to any shit that this race gives me. I basically need to be evil back. And make sure that it pays a hefty price. This race is definitely evil because of everything that it's already put me through. I'm also pretty sure that because my car cannot turn for shit when it comes to taking sharp turns, my only real option is to basically make sure that I basically kill the AI any way I can. I basically have to try and kill them as much as they are killing me. I also need to brake for this corner to make it through. And that time I do. Okay, fuck it, whatever, it didn't slow me down. Not taking that shortcut. Wherever it is. Okay. This is crucial. This is absolutely crucial. In terms of me actually pulling this off. I'm not taking that shortcut because it's not going to work. Nope, you are not tipping me around. If that's what your master plan is, I refuse to let it happen. Oh, that was a hard hit, but at least I got the landing right. Okay, this is where I need to pull it off. Come on, go. Finally. You have no idea just how evil that race really was. That race was just pure psychosis. It was quite literally evil in just about every way, and I hated it. But thankfully, we somehow persevered. After more than an hour of struggling to get to the end of the third race, I actually put together a good run. Anyway, those are your results, not going to go through them.
I done you well, Holmes.
I actually needed a break, and we've now unlocked Raw for the muscle cars. And all I can really say in response to that is... thank fuck. I actually got it done. Yeah, I'll admit, I had to be an asshole right off the launch. And I really had to pussyfoot my way to get to the front over the AI, because if this race was going to be evil to me, I knew my only way of winning was to pretty much be evil back. And to basically make sure that I weren't going to give the AI any shit. And eventually, because the game actually noticed that it had seen enough in terms of the suffering and torture that this race had put me through, I'm going to assume with the second lap it must have actually let me off and allowed me to recover. Which, really above everything else, it feels as if you literally just won probably the biggest battle of your life when it comes to struggling in races like these. It definitely alleviates a lot of pressure from you when you actually do get it right. And then as soon as the game realizes that it actually can let you off from time to time, because even though I was pretty sure I was not going to end up winning this, the game actually let me pull this off anyway, because it decided I had suffered enough and basically just let me pull it off. I did also have to wreck the guy behind me just to get it done, but to be honest, I basically had to shut that door basically hard enough to the point where you knew it was going to do more than basically squash those toes. It was basically going to cut off those toes that Pontiac was trying to put on me. I basically had to shut the door on him as soon as I got past him, and that was how I pulled it off. It was honestly painful to get to that point, but I'm sure glad it worked.
Orale, time guy. You wanna make noise? Well, you just unlock Roar. This will make you heard in the city real loud, and fools are gonna get out of your way. You can fill up your Roar meter by drifting and power sliding your ride. Each time you fill the Roar meter, you'll get 1 unit in reserve. Hit L3 button to activate Roar and watch everybody scatter. But you can't use it in any vehicle, only choppers and muscle cars.
I will say one thing. That race was painful. I had to really pussyfoot my way through that race, and I basically had to make sure that I was putting my foot down to authorize how that was going to end, but for once I am actually glad to say that my tactic was bodacious enough to actually successfully get it pulled off. Now I just have to try and make sure I can get through this and make sure that these assholes in front of me just get out of my way. By doing that, of course. Okay. So glad I got their assholes out of the way. And it also almost worked with that one as well. You know what? I'll take it. Oh, shit. Damn it. I really thought for sure I was going to squeeze through there. I almost did. Well, at least I'm up at the front now. Or up towards the front, I should say. Not using it here, there's too much traffic. Aha! Eat shit and die. That's all I gotta say. Okay. I think that roar actually did pay off. Because I actually timed it right. Must have just been close enough to activate the roar. I don't think I'm gonna get this. I think I might have to be insanely lucky to get this one right. Okay, 2 checkpoints left. Come on. Come on. Go. Go. Yes! First try. I actually pulled that off first try. Thank Christ for that. A 204.7 was what I set in the end. Drywall 2nd, Weston 3rd, Arnie 4th, Fernando 5th, Jalil 6th, and Casey finished 7th and last.
What I tell you, S.A., it's nothing to be scared of.
No, but it's definitely enough to be... strafed out of, Oscar. Oh, also I noticed we had Corvette Stingrays in that race. Okay, anyway. I think we've got either 1 or 2 more races to go. I think it's 1. And this one is called Oh Ship. In other words, I get the feeling this race is probably going to be oh shit. Anyway, we got some Chevrolet Impalas in the field, and hopefully we can manage to get through this despite my inferior steering. Go. Yes! 2nd. I thought for sure I was going to be worse than that, but I somehow got second. That was too close to call. Honestly, that really was too close to call. I'm also pretty sure this is our final muscle car race here in San Diego. Still, considering I actually recovered to second, given everything else that happened in that race, I will happily take second place from that first attempt, because I actually recovered a lot more than I thought I was going to. Especially after I ran into that pillar earlier on. Aha! I got through the corner, asshole. You weren't stopping me from doing that. Driving a muscle car, motherfucker. And also making sure you stay out of my way. Okay, I think I might have a good shot at winning now, as long as I can stay ahead. Or at least I did before that happened. No matter though, I have got enough roars to at least keep the AI behind me. Which helps, despite my best of attempts to lose, but second time around, I actually won. With Jalil in second, Drywall third, Andreas fourth, and Paul in fifth. And with there 7 of us in this race, I'll probably give them a few more seconds to get here if they're not already here. Okay, I think the other 2 guys in this race might have DNF'd. I think they probably fell into the drink, if they're anywhere. I don't think they're gonna make it.
Don't be getting all cocky on me now.
Yeah, there were definitely 7 of us in this race, but the other 2 guys must have DNF'd. So I'm going to assume they must have gone into the drink. Anyway, another 2,600 credits, and we've made up a shit ton of money from those races, considering we're now back up to nearly 25 grand. But anyway, we've now got new muscle car rear upgrades have now been shipped to the garage. And that is now the end of the American Royalty Car Club in San Diego. And boy, was this an ordealistic bitch to get through. Anyway, we're done now. We had a lot of adversity to overcome, but eventually we persevered. And eventually, I did manage to get settled back in. So, all that's left is the Chopper of America races. And since we don't get any prize cars, we might as well head back to the menus to look at our updated progress. Because that's all we can really do. So, these are now our updated stats. As my skill rating has now gone down to 30, but whatever, I don't care. And we've now got 11 second places with 11 thirds. Interesting. And we're now a third of the way there with the American Royalty Car Club, and all that's really left for us to do is to get through the Chopper of America races. However, before I do that, I might consider doing some more grinding. I think I am going to make a start on the Chopper of America races next, but I'm not going to get through all of them because I'm a little pressed for time, so, you know. Anyway. Part 1 in the American Royalty Car Club is now done, and we've now made some progress in 3 of our 7 club race tournaments. If you enjoyed, you know the drill. Please like, please subscribe, and please comment down below if you feel like it. And we'll see you again for more Midnight Club 3 shenanigans.